What's up everyone, welcome back to Alejandro's Engineered Lifestyle. My name is Alejandro and I'm a mechanical engineer working in aerospace. Today we're going to be installing the Evotech tail tidy on the KTM 890 Duke R. This is a real simple one. You're going to want to get the bike up on stands, of course, for ease of access, and start with your 8 mils. There's going to be 4 fasteners and that will allow you to remove the rear assembly. After your fasteners are off, you're going to want to unplug that assembly and then remove the environmental seal, just with a flathead here, nothing fancy about it. Moving then onto the ground, you're going to want to begin by removing your license plate. Your license plate is actually one of the things that holds the assembly together. As you can see here, there is a seam down the middle, and it does in fact split down the middle. You're going to want to then proceed with the T30 fastener removal there on the back side, as well as T20 here on the top next to your where your 4 8mm fasteners were, and that will remove the mud guard there, as you see. So from that point, you are going to want to flip it over and work on these T25s. So you can remove all 4. I just removed 3 and then, as you can see here, shifted it out of the way. And proceeding on, you're going to want to take a T27 and remove the fasteners from 3 locations here on driver's right hand side, and rider's rather. These are the last 3 fasteners that are holding the assembly together. After this point, we're actually going to be able to split the assembly into its 2 individual pieces in order to remove the wiring harness, as well as if you plan to reuse your turn signals, to remove those from this assembly as well. So as you can see here, the wiring harness does have a couple of stays in the assembly. They're just rubber pieces. You just have to unthread them. No big deal here. But as you can see, there's a simple wire harness with your brake light and your 2 turn signals. Now the turn signals are a little bit of a pain to remove. As you can see, they're kind of inset, and they're 13mm, but you're going to want to grab 2 different wrenches and fit the 13mm down vertically and use your second wrench to just leverage that nut off. There's really not much force required, it's just in a tricky position, but once you get the angle right, you're going to be set. From there, you're going to want to take your flathead, depress the clips, and that will allow you to remove the wire harness from this assembly. And as I said before, you're going to want to then reuse those turn signals if you do plan on fitting them to the new assembly, by just de-threading them from your old assembly. We're going to interrupt this video really quick so Alba can tell you to like the video and subscribe if you're looking out for more modification and maintenance on the 890 Duke R. So proceeding with installation of the turn signals into the Evotech assembly, again it splits right down the middle, and you're going to run into much the same issue with installation of the turn signals, though using the same trick you won't have any problems. The turn signals are directional, obviously, and the Evotech assembly accounts for that and will not let you install them backwards. Not that that should be a major concern if you are at all savvy with these type of things, but you never know. So kind of test fitting this all together, you're going to see how it comes together. Not too difficult, as it uses the same kind of principle, just with the wiring routing through the cutouts. However, there is just a little bit of trickiness associated with this license plate holder piece, in that it will actually interface with the bottom of your brake light, and then that in turn will then slide into the arm of the tail tidy. So without that piece, it's not actually going to fit properly, so you are going to have to install the license plate holder. For all of you outlaws out there, this may not be your tail tidy. However, you'll notice that there is adequate routing for the wiring harness, and actually not for the wiring harness, but just for the light wires in general. And then fitting the other half of the assembly, again paying attention to the wiring, you're then going to want to seal that assembly with a 4mm hex. So I'm replaying these clips here because, full disclosure, the Evotech mount does not actually play well with US plates. However, as you can see here, you can modify it by removing the tip, as well as then fastening with zip ties, which, not optimal, but overall I didn't feel that it affected the overall look, and I did get the tail tidy at a discounted rate by buying off a forum, as I've discussed in previous videos, so take that with a grain of salt if you're in the US. After your tail tidy is fully assembled, you're going to then begin installation back onto the bike by reinstalling the environmental seal and then routing the light wires through. So in this instance, it's not going to be just one wire, it's going to be all three, both the brake as well as the two turn signal wires. But then taking your harness, you're going to want to then plug it in right here to the bike where it was initially removed. And then this harness is actually going to reside within the back compartment now. So your two wires here, green and red, are of course your turn signals. You're going to want to test out which side's which, and after plugging those in, you're going to want to take that extra long brake wire and plug that in as well. So as you can see, the wiring is not optimized. However, you're going to want to interface the tail tidy to the back of the bike before you do any optimization of wire routing here. So to begin that, you're going to want to take your 5mm, install the tail tidy. This is super simple, guys. It's just the 4 5mm fasteners, and overall the wires then tidy up nicely, and you can tuck that as shown. So from here, by request, we're going to be moving into brightness comparisons between the Evotech and the stock light. So as you can see here, the stock light has a tiered approach to braking, whereas the Evotech does not. The brightness is marginally lower on the Evotech by admission. This is one of those modifications that really just boils down to your comfort. Ultimately, your riding style in traffic reflects driver awareness a lot more than a small light, although this light is located a little higher. Aesthetically, I think it's a vast improvement, as you can see here, to the back end of the bike. It does elevate that light, and it also actually elevates the turn signals so that you really don't run the risk of melting them, even with running aftermarket slip-on like I am. So there we have it, complete installation and a little bit of a review. Please enjoy this teaser of upcoming content, like and subscribe, and tell me what modification you want to see next. Thanks, guys.